What is going on, Brick fans? Today I've got a really exciting video for you all. We're going to be reviewing the new Lapras set from Pokémon Mega Construx. But before we get into it, if you like Pokémon Mega Construx content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video, be sure to hit that like button. It really helps with the video. And of course, let me know what you guys think of this build in the comments. So without further delay, let's get right into the review. So here is Lapras, the all-new build. And the first thing I'd like to point out is actually the articulation for this character. So firstly, we have his tail, which is on a ball joint, which doesn't give much movement, but I don't think much movement is needed for the tail. Now, each side of the flipper will move in unison. They don't move all together, but one side of them will move together. They also are connected by a ball joint, so you can get a little posability if you just have this guy standing still. Additionally, we have these little ear things on his head that can move. I don't think they're really supposed to move all that much with the character, but they can. We can get his neck moving up and down, and then we've got a mouth that can open. Now, with the articulation out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at the movement features for this character. So this is something I'm not a big fan of, but some of you might like it. So let's take a look at what he can do. Now we've got this little red joint right here. We can twist it and his head will move all the way around in either direction. Now personally, I don't know why this was needed, as this character's head is connected by a ball joint. So if we needed movement, we could have just used that ball joint to move his head around. So it's kind of redundant. It's also a little strange to just have a 360 turning head. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of this kind of stuff, and I definitely think it wasn't needed here. Now, additionally to the head, we can actually move his flippers. There is a movement feature where we have a little roller wheel on the bottom there, and if we roll him on a flat surface, the fins will move. Oh boy. As you can see, the construction is not the best. So let me go ahead and put that back together. I had to look at the instructions to discover where that piece exactly went. But that's actually one of the problems I find with this build, is that there are parts of it that are not as stable as they should be. For example, some of these little spines, we've got a little 2 points of connection right there. That's not exactly the most stable. And it's on the outside, so if something slightly bumps that little spike right there, it's probably coming right off. We also have a similar problem with something like these pieces right here. I don't even want to really touch it all that much for fear that it will just pop off right away. But that seems to be kind of a consistent Mega Construx issue. The worst offender I can think of is the windmill set that had really terrible connections with the platform pieces, leading to structural issues with the set itself. So hopefully Mega Construx will do better in the future. Now, I do actually like that this set came out, although I do wish there were things that were done differently with it. But the reason being is that the original Lapras set came out as a GameStop exclusive, and that was going on 6 years ago. So there are quite a few people who are collecting today who would not have been able to get this set. So this is some pretty good news for them that this set is out. Now, me personally, I did get the original version of this set. So let's go ahead and compare the two. All right, here are the two of them side by side, newer on the left, old on the right. So the first thing I'd like to point out is, while I can appreciate the continuity with the stomach design here, I also really like that this neck can move around in all sorts of poses. I actually prefer this style of movement. Give me a good pose rather than some kind of weird movement mechanics any day. Of course, posability for this Lapras is superior to the new Lapras simply because of the neck. Everything else is the same. We can move the tail up and down, although it is not on a ball joint. I think that's perfectly fine, personally. How much tail movement do you actually need? I don't think you need a lot. And of course, all the flippers are on ball joints as well. So we get the same amount of movement as the new one, only we have more with the actual neck. Now this neck is not built perfectly. They could have done better, but I still prefer a movable neck than one that stands still. There's a lot of structural differences inside these two sets, simply because we have movable flippers, a whole wheel has to go under, and some of the structural stuff with the shell is also very different. But personally, I think this build is really adequate. It's not terrible. I wish that we had a little more of this kind of more organic design rather than the very blocky look at the base. That's definitely a change I would have liked for this original version, but there's nothing like glaringly wrong with this build that this build really fixes. We still have some bad structural integrity with the shell, especially with these pieces right here, but overall I do like this original version better than the newer one. We do have a slightly more saturated blue for the newer version, and then our spots are a little more pale on the new version. These are much more saturated. So I think the colors on the newer version are probably more accurate. So the big question, would I recommend this new Lapras set? And I would say if you do not have the old set, absolutely I would recommend this. In order to buy the old set nowadays, it's going to be pretty expensive. So I'd say if you are a collector of Pokemon Mega Construx and you have not gotten your hands on the old version yet, I would absolutely recommend this one for you. However, if you have the old version, I would say this is absolutely a pass. Personally, I would not have bought this set if it were not for this channel. So with all that said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Of course, like and subscribe if you have not already. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and take care.